production definitely coming. Now, how about, yes, here we go. So the actual addressable market, what are the numbers? How much money, how much of the market can actually be addressed by 3D printing? Probably recognize that thing there. I'll come back to that in a moment, but just, yes, obviously you can see the 3D printed part there is the soul, but I'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so what do people tell us about this? Again, we can see, we can all agree that the opportunity is vast. Yes, I think presenters this morning have drawn attention to that. Yes, it is vast. Alex was just saying, obviously, HP are not just looking at 3D printing figures, they're looking at the whole 12 trillion global manufacturing business. So that's potentially a very big number. An Italian company, they told me that they reckon 1% is addressable. That's something like 120 billion by their calculations. We're seeing, normally we're talking about 20 billion, figures like that in 5 years. So these guys are saying 120 billion. A bit more of a conservative number here, looking at hardware, looking at materials from one of the leading OEMs in additive, almost 3 billion for last year, and from a service bureau, so not really a big number for those guys. I mean, you have to think, are they producing parts for professional users? Are they producing batch production? So, but it's still interesting to see that quite a small amount on 3D hubs are actually large quality. Now, okay, back to the insole. So just notice the alignment there. It's a bit different to the one that you normally see. Okay, now who's leading in production here? Well, again, all the verticals you'd expect, really. So consumer goods, aeronautics, healthcare, MRO, so maintenance, repair, overhaul. Interestingly, the GE LEAP engine has not only got 3D printed components, but the MRO advice or kit comes with 3D printable tooling as well. So this will be used on site for MRO purposes around the world. 3D Systems, they are focusing on a lot of other things, apart from dental and medical, but obviously they are doing some interesting things there with their figure 4 configuration. Now, I think one of the major industries here, and if you go next door, you can see examples of this. If you go to the Schunk booth, you'll see those robot grippers. Robots are expensive machinery. I'd love to take one of those machines home with me, but I don't really have that kind of paycheck. If you want to actually customize your robot, you're not going to be able to go to a shop necessarily and buy that part. There's no point in producing it now. Customizing the grippers, customizing the adapters, these kind of elements, yes. I mean, sort of Aeon 3D, Canadian company, they say it's a no-brainer, but this is where we're using additive for production. Industrial automation, absolutely, is where it's going. Carbon, again, they told me a lot of different verticals, but I thought I'd mention just automotive and consumer electronics in there. Now, how do we actually deepen AM's use in industry? How do we actually get further into the use of 3D printing for final part production? Again, 60 companies, quite a lot of different opinions on this. But I think you can boil it down to several core areas, and I know this is going to be dealt with in more detail by some of the later presenters, and also this morning we've touched on these ideas. But yeah, the mindset, re-education to design for additive manufacturing, it is a different process. It is a different way of thinking. If you're leading with topology optimization, then yes, your constraints, your overhangs, all sorts of things suddenly change. So there's a resistance to that change. If your job depends on delivering results and it works, are you really going to break it just to fix it again? This is problematic. Of course, I mentioned 7 technologies. 3D printing is 7 different technologies. Matching the technology to the application. You know, you're not going to be printing everything. Materials, okay, well, there's no point replacing this production part unless the properties you're going to get actually are improved. So we also need more materials, wider materials palette. There's some great work going on. I think the open materials platform that HP is developing, 50 materials partners, I've been told. But then you'll walk around the trade show floor and there's a lot of materials companies from this region as well, producing metal powders, producing nylon powders, producing all sorts of powders. Now, okay, those materials need to go through the qualification processes. When you're dealing with very expensive machinery, you don't want to be clogging your nozzles. But yeah, more people in the market. Hopefully the pricing changes, and you know, that's where we start moving more to production as well, the economics of it. Qualification and certification, I won't say too much about, but in the regulated industries, so dental, medical, aerospace, yes, absolutely. The process of change is slow, but we are getting, as we've seen. And I mentioned already,